Oh, you're live.
And we are
Hello.
live.
Go for it, Joel.
All right. Hey, welcome to the Three Amigos podcast, your weekly news source slash just chat up source for Dash Force news. Here's where you should be to know everything that the Dash Force has been involved with for the last week and just, chew the fat with us. So, as a reminder, this is a live podcast. So, we have a live chat going right now, right? So, you could go ask some things in the chat window. Like, for example, Alan Demarest just said TikTok because he was clearly quite impatient that he was not able to see our lovely and wonderful faces and voices when he thought he would. So anyway, you can ask anything and everything you want in that chat. We'll try our best to respond, but we'll also just keep moving on with business and pleasure and everything in between.
Yeah, my lower third is broken.
Yes, but
Yeah,
this
we'll have to deal
the
with it.
person saying his lower third is broken is Brian, and Brian Mastermind is an integral part of the team who is just needs no introduction, which is why he doesn't need the lower third anyway. The rest of us, we kind of need something. A little padding on our resumes, you know?
Okay, well, it's been an action-packed week for Dash, as always.
How's it ever been?
Yeah, you'll probably have to forgive me today. I'm a bit low energy Jeb today because it's been completely manic with the website. Everything else is taken off. But this is a good thing. It's never a slow day with Dash, unfortunately, when it comes to news.
Yeah,
So,
well, I can just give the news recap of the stuff we put out. First off, on Monday, there was Bitcart announced they dumped Bitcoin completely and we're going to Dash only. Now,
Oh, that's great. I saw last time I checked, Bitcoin was still on there then.
yes,
yeah,
well, actually, just to, because that was really interesting because on the Friday, the tweet of the week that which
yes.
was from Bitcart, and they actually mentioned about moving over to Dash only payment. So it's been absolutely fantastic. So I really recommend going to dashforcenews.com and checking out the article. I'm sure most of you here are loyal fans of our readership anyway. Yes, and we've even had some pretty cool news today. I've also got some things slightly off topic, but always related to Dash. If we run dry and the questions are lacking, is there any news, Joel, Brian, that you would like to mention, or if not, I can jump straight into something if necessary.
Yes. So one thing I think is interesting from today and yesterday has been Amanda B. Johnson's cool mass adoption initiative, the hashtag First Dash Wallet. As we've seen, so it's basically if you get some friend, some coworker, some family member to get their first Dash wallet, take a selfie of you guys, and then she'll send you about like $20 worth of Dash, right? And it's a contest that's ongoing until Tuesday of next week. And so far, as we can see, we've had an ocean of selfies pop out of that thing. A lot of people from all over the world, and it's been pretty. To me, it's been pretty surprising not only how quickly that whole thing caught on, but also it's been crazy just to see the spread of people who's been on there. Of course, you see a lot of young guys with about a lot of young guys with getting their girlfriends' wallets. You get a lot of people getting their significant other. A lot of guys getting their parents. There's there've been a few like older fellows getting their kids on it too, which is kind of the opposite of the way it's supposed to be. So that's been a really interesting thing to see. I'm really looking forward to a lot more people getting involved.
Yes,
Is there a
Amanda.
max?
Yes, Amanda has done a fantastic job. I hope you guys can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
I could see your screen.
People, if you have not been to Dash Force News today, make sure you do it. Amanda has been doing a fantastic job. First Dash hashtag First Dash Wallet on Twitter, on Facebook. my Twitter feed is just full of these. It's been a huge success, and I think other people
Huge.
are starting to take notice as well. And yeah, great article. We've mentioned some of the tweets here, and what I really love about this is that people have been getting the kids involved, not just family and co-workers, but and their friends, but we're seeing the next generation, the crypto kids. And I would love to see an article of that, and perhaps in the future we can focus on that. And yeah, this is next generation stuff, and this is really a great way of outreach. I can't wait to see what Amanda does next. I hope her budget lasted for everyone, because there was just, when I was getting the photos to do the image, there were so many to pick from. I could have done more, but then you wouldn't have been able to make out what the image was. So that just shows you how popular Dash is right now. And also the outreach is completely international, from one side of the world to the other.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the makeup of the tweets that they were embedded in the article, right? Let's see. So
right, okay, testing. Can you see?
yeah. So I mean, we got
India here. We've got India in this one. What have we got here? No location on this one. What have we got here? So we've got someone that's got their niece involved.
Yeah.
I have no idea where that is, but
yeah, probably somewhere like Indonesia or Malaysia. It's hard to tell for sure, but you definitely see a diverse crowd of people representing just about all corners of the world. And if you look at back in the early days, right, you used to go to coin.dance, which is a great Bitcoin information site. And one of the things they have on there is demographics. And they noticed that, let me just read off a couple of these stats they noticed about Bitcoin users, right? So Bitcoin engagement by gender is 97% male, right? So already just looking at some of these pictures on the first Dash wallet hashtag, right? And you can see that that's absolutely does not hold true for Dash, or at least for this new crop of Dash users. And so that's one big thing. And then it's 45% are between the ages of 25 and 34, and another 30% are 35 to 44. You see again all ages there, and then you see by different interests. You find a lot of people are into IT. Minority of that is finance, and yeah, so you have a variety. You have a pretty you can have a pretty obviously no two users are necessarily alike, but you do have a stereotype you can kind of make, right, of interest, like what is an average Bitcoiner, and by extension cryptocurrency user. What does the average person look like, right? Or what are they like? And then you start looking at this flood of selfies, and it's like, oh, this completely shatters my image of what digital currency should be like, what the demographic would be.
I just love it at the moment because we've got the whole 1-2 punch going. We've got the business adoption of listing the merchants on
discoverdash.com.
You said it. And also as well, now Amanda's doing this as well beside us, but she's doing the ground game. She's got boots on the ground. She's actually building a community and getting new people involved in Dash at the same time. So we've got the business adoption side, and we're expanding the community as well. Actually getting people wallets and actually giving them Dash as well gives them incentive to stay and learn about more. It's all about planting seeds, and people go on for a journey of discovery. We've all done it. It's the smartest way. It's a fantastic strategy, and I hope we can keep it up. We're on the march, and we're making a big difference. So
yes. And this has been it's been interesting because of all the digital currencies out there. They all seem to have a little bit more like niche applications, or technical applications, back end kind of things. And Bitcoin was like the one that was, oh, you can use it as digital cash, and you actually saw a lot of real world use like that. And now that sort of real world use is dropping off dramatically, but Bitcoin's user base doesn't seem to be really shrinking too much. Its market cap definitely isn't, and its volume and the load on the network isn't, because Bitcoin is still doing fine. It's still being used well. And it's not this digital cash anymore. It's turned into something else. And as we've seen from businesses like Bitcart that have decided to drop Bitcoin functionality just because it just doesn't practically work. They can still like Bitcoin, but it just wouldn't practically work. And then that's not the only business, right? Let me see. Here we go. The owner of Boyle's Beer Company, which is a local brewery that, full disclosure, I definitely like to get brews from there. He just said, I paid over $5 low priority fee for a $20 Bitcoin transaction. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to accept Bitcoin again until it's fixed. So that's another one. It's not quite as overt as Bitcart, but it's pretty close to it. It sends a clear message of Bitcoin doesn't work for my business anymore. And so Bitcoin will still be used. It just won't be used for, paying for your pints, which is kind of one of the big things I like to spend crypto on.
Now I'm talking about it. People always talk about buying coffee with crypto. Come on, let's talk about the beer. It's all about the pub. Anyway,
Well,
Brian, it looks like you're up to something. What are you up to?
Well, I just wanted to point out that the contest ends Tuesday, June 13th.
Good man.
And, it is $20, $10 each for each person who uploads their picture and stuff. Is there a number? Does she have like you were talking about the budget? Is there a limit to how many people can do it? Because it's bigger than I thought it would be.
I'm doing this from memory, okay? But in the budget proposal, I do believe that Amanda has a budget of $1,500 per week to do these contests and competitions. Now, I don't even know if the 1,500 is going to go that far because there's been so many entries this week. But how can you be mad at that? It's been amazing. So, like, even if Amanda did this every week and it had the same results and returns, that would be amazing. So I don't have a hat on, but I take it off to Amanda.
So according to my brief calculations, it would seem like if it's $1,500 and she gives 20 to each new person, that's 75, right? So apparently 75 tweets. We're gonna see.
Yeah.
How many are we at right now? How many does she already have?
Yeah, that's Twitter. Don't forget there's Facebook and stuff as well. So like
Facebook's slightly less active than Twitter, but I did check that too. And so between the two of them, it's got to be 30, 40, 50, somewhere in that range. It's getting up there already. So I'm pretty sure by the end of the weekend, without saying anything about Monday or Tuesday, she'll all be spent out. I mean, you're just giving away free money. I mean, why wouldn't you? I'd almost want to I almost want to get a wig and some Groucho glasses or something so I could keep gaming the system because it's like a digital gold rush up in there.
I want one of those Stella Bell blue wigs. All right, in the comments, if you think in the next podcast I should wear like a blue wig like Stella Bell, put it on there. Maybe I should do like a Dash donation for it.
Yeah,
I don't know, but it's great. So, guys, I can see the live chat is beginning to get a bit more busy. I'd just like to talk about 1-2 more news bits, and then we can get into that because we normally get quite deep in. So one is actually a bit of a plug. It was an article and a video as well. So I'm sure most of you in the chat are already subscribed to the channel. If you're not, please like and subscribe. But during the week, I did a video interview with Michael Gu, who is the Dash Force China ambassador. It's only a 10-minute video, but we go through very briefly what Dash Force China is and why the China international outreach is different. So, yes, please check it out. I mean, not now. Don't go anywhere because you just need to watch this yet. Go on the YouTube channel.
Now,
check it out.
Now, I wonder, is there any specific criteria for Dash Force members? Anyway, why did Michael have to be so good looking? Did you pick that on purpose?
It was all strategy. Actually, I say in the article, Michael is very unique. Obviously, he's very knowledgeable about cryptocurrencies because of his YouTube channel, Box Mining. and he's great. He's putting videos out daily. But why he's so unique is he's actually, I don't want to say too much about his personal life, but he's in the video games industry, right? And he previously lived in Canada, and he actually moved to Hong Kong to work on marketing strategies and advertising campaigns in mainland China, because marketing in China is different to everywhere else. You really have to understand the culture, and he has that experience. And there's not many other, not many people around that are in the crypto game are actually passionate about Dash and actually have that knowledge. So we really, have won a trophy with Michael here, and I really think we're going to get some really great results. And Joel, you just reminded me of something, because Brian's more excited about this than all three of us, but remember Dash Racer? I think Brian mentioned him. So basically, Dash Racer is the guy with the airplanes. Now check this out. Since we did the video and the China thing, Dash Racer actually has an event coming up in China. Wow. So I'm trying to, well, actually, Michael suggested to me today that he's going to try and find out the location, and maybe with the videos that we'll be doing over there, we're going to try and get footage and put that into the videos for China as well. Go big or go home. And what a great way to start with a big bang. So, I mean, it's all happening in Dash right now. Super excited.
When is their first contest at Dash Racer, or their first event? Do we know what
I don't know, but apparently the China event is coming up pretty soon. I mean, I didn't even know the graphics on the plane, the Dash graphics, had been done. Guys, if you've not seen what the graphics look like, once again, dashforcenews.com, we have the article there, and a great interview and fantastic quotes from him as well. So
yeah, especially like the part where Michael's talking about how marketing is different, how the television is different in China. And it's just like a dude sitting there in front of a webcam, just blah, 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 is going to be boring. And you have to have quick cuts and things like that. That's interesting cultural insights, because it's sort of I noticed between, like, for example, the US and France, the French have a much more ironic or understated way of presenting things. And then the US is much more flashy with the dramatic music and stuff. And I guess it seems like China is one step even beyond that.
One thing that was interesting was Mark had talked about how in China they get a lot of their Dash and cryptos from mining. Mining is really, obviously mining's really big there, but that's kind of their go-to way to get the cryptos is to mine. So
yeah, I guess it's a lot harder to buy it than it is over here, or wherever here might be. Here for all three of us, right?
It's such a huge subject, and it's actually, out of all the videos we put out to date, which is probably less than a handful, but the comments and response has been fantastic. For such a short video, you guys are asking for more information about China, and it is a huge subject with regulations. I think every week something changes over there, and you guys have asked for more videos. Now, obviously, I'll be giving updates on Dash Force China as we proceed, as well as a monthly report I'll publish on the Dash forums. But what I will do is, when topical issues come up in China, I'll grab Michael on the spot. He's going to alert me of stuff, and we'll talk things through. Now, I can talk about that very, very briefly. We're fortunate, right? Because we have exchanges, so you can go there and get, we can put money in, put money out. Of course, there's been some exchanges are more trustworthy than others, but in China it's different. The government knows about what money goes in, what goes out. So there's a whole sort of trust issue. So the approach with Dash in China is completely different. It's not, so it's more seen as more of an investment more than a sort of tool. And yeah, as I said in the video interview, 60% of Bitcoin and all the biggest Bitcoin miners are in China. So by mining and putting it straight to your wallet, you've got that privacy angle as well. However, having said this, from one community, there's I found 40 master owners in China, and one in particular had like 40 as well. So apparently, so that's fantastic. Like, so there has been a core sort of outreach, but the video game and everything else hasn't really been explored. And with over 1 billion people in China and the money that's in there at the moment, there's a hell of a lot to play for. So yeah, the fortune favors the brave, and we've got it all to play for. So we're gonna mark our line in the sand. And
well, that's the thing. That's why also Dash Force China seems like it's going to be an integral part of Dash Force, because once you start alerting the Chinese masternode owners, then that could make or break our proposal next cycle, right?
Yeah. Well,
Like, oh, do they like what we're doing? It's like now we got their attention, but
well,
if they
so
don't.
there's the well, yes, yeah, definitely. It's very, very interesting. And in some ways, we're kind of starting from the beginning because we need to build a community. It's all about creating grassroots organic growth. We can do documentation, press releases, and all that sort of stuff. But if there's no foundation community, you're just putting your head in the sand because it's just going to fall dead after a while. You need to have a baseline first. So obviously at the end of the month, we'll be looking at feedback from the community and hearing what they want, what they like, seeing what works, looking at the analytics. I'm taking this really serious. You know, we should have been really have a strong game in China already. And I'm really trying to propel the Dash movement forward there because Bitcoin, Litecoin has a huge following there and it's dominated in the news. And unfortunately, most things don't really get a say in. So we're going to take the Dash Force attempt and just do things our own way. And we pride ourselves on the merit of hard work. And hopefully you guys know from our reputation and our you know, our standing in the community that we take things serious and we pride ourselves on hard work. So I'm really going to throw everything I can at this.
Yeah.
Did you say hard work?
Hard work, yeah.
Hard work.
Yeah. Anyway, Brian.
Yes.
I'm gonna bring you into this because I feel like you're being a little bit neglected. Now, it was kind of a bit of a shock article to do, but we had some other big news today, and that is Joe Moraca. And he has come on board now as an official Dash Force News team member in the editorial team under Joel, who is the head chief editor of Dash Force News, if you didn't know that already.
I didn't know that.
He joins us with he's joined us with the proposal updates, and that article only went live less than an hour ago or so. So check that out. There's a quote in there. But Brian, can you tell us a bit more about the proposal updates or follow-ups? What is Joe's role? Why is he on the team? And yeah, can you just tell us a bit more?
Yeah, he's just to do reviews and stuff. He did a really good one on that ATM. I was really impressed with that. And then the point of sale, he did good on that. And then I forget the first one that I saw. He did it, I believe it was on Medium or something. That's where I originally saw it. And he had written us a letter. And yeah, I reached out to him and asked him to do a few things. And yeah, they turned out great. And we decided that it'd be good to bring him on full time.
Yes, it's been interesting because it's been a whirlwind this week, and at the moment there's like 4 or 5 competing like kind of review committee style things. However, when the website first launched, and the website is about, this is Dash Force News, the website is just over 7 weeks old now, and as soon as we launched on the first day, Joe sent us an email, and he'd been creating articles on Steemit. He was doing this at the same time. This isn't a position we just created like impulsively. He's passionate about this, and we were just like, you know, we get lots of people sending us lots of things from all things, travel writers, all kinds of things, right? But we said, oh, show us what you got. And he showed us, and he was doing this off his own back, and he was just like, we was really, really impressed. And he takes a balanced approach. And as I say, we have a commitment and a duty in our mission statement to the Dash community to provide high quality content. And when Joe came along and his approach in not just passing judgment and his opinion on how he thinks things work, he actually goes straight to the source and actually interviews them just to find out what was going on, what might have gone wrong. You know, some proposals work out great, some that don't. And, you know, the masternode owners, where proposals are coming in, right, and we're voting on each month, proposals that are passed and have been successfully funded, we often easily forget about because we're always excited by the next thing. So doing these follow-ups is really, really essential, and it's been quite a demanded thing by master owners because certain proposals come up, people remember, and they're like, hey, what happened with that? And then it's finding the right platform and the way of presenting that information, okay? And with Joe, as Brian correctly pointed out, he did a fantastic update on the ATMs. And originally he did the POS. There's an article on the website today with the links to that. I really recommend you see it. I look forward to him. Joe, welcome to the team if you're watching. Oh, I've seen you in the chat. Oh, blue wig would be epic. Right, okay. I'll think about that. Yeah, welcome to the team.
Also, welcome to the chat, Graham DeBarra. I'm the CEO of BitCart.
Oh, Graham's here. Excellent.
Yeah.
I
Hi, Graham.
you, man.
Yes, you've saved me. I got this microphone thanks to you. Got these headphones thanks to you. Got that computer thanks to you. Got this desk that I haven't set up in the corner thanks to you. Yeah, and that's just a start. So thanks very much for allowing me to spend my Dash on just about everything, Graham. So for the viewers at home, BitCart allows anyone to buy Amazon gift cards with 15% discount for Dash. And the latest order in particular, I think it was about $150 worth, and it was fulfilled in about 37 minutes flat.
Wow.
And that includes the I'm pretty sure a lot like those 7 minutes were the time of the invoice gets generated, I pull up my wallet, I send the Dash, and it gets confirmed and processed and stuff. So that was a pretty good turnaround. And I know during some periods of high activity, there's been some delays, understandably. Some people got upset over those delays, but I understand that, especially when you get quick things like that. And recently, unfortunately, BitCart was under a DDoS attack, and from what I've heard, it's since back online. But that's probably I don't know. Is it too conspiratorial to try to link that, to correlate that with the announcement that they're dropping Bitcoin?
No, I think it was right when we dropped that article.
There's always a couple.
But yeah, they got better and better. So my best time is like 2 or 3 hours on a turnaround in BitCart. But yeah, I did start off a little slow at first, and then I started doing about 12 hours, and now it keeps getting better and better. I suppose at some point it's going to be instant. You're going to pay for it. You're just going to instantly get the code.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I mean,
yes.
That's the direction it's going.
Now here's a question for Graham, since he's in the chat right now, and I'll let everyone know if he answers. Does BitCart support instant send functionality? And if not, is that a thing that's going to be available in the future?
I think it does. I think I sent one and it confirmed very quickly. Although it just could be taking the first confirmation or something, but not always. Yeah, sometimes it seems like it takes 8, but it may be different every time.
Yeah, I haven't used Instant Send with it before. As far as I know, now, of course, correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I know, Instant Send provides like 5 instant confirmations. And so then any service that does not have Instant Send specifically enabled and recognized will then just see it just has 5 confirmations, and you'll have to wait for the next one usually, right? 6 is the standard, or sometimes 8, right?
Yeah, I think they take it, because I remember one time I was checking and it was like pretty much instant. I mean, by the time I went to check, it was already confirmed.
Graham says yes. So in the future, when we have the system a lot better oiled, right? I mean, obviously it's just a startup right now, but if eventually when we get to Purse.io type size, fingers crossed, right, and larger, it would be interesting to you're going to Amazon, and then you get your order, you get ready to check out, and then you're just like, all right, this is $48. I need a $50 gift card, and you just open the other window, instant send by your gift code, and it just gets right to you, and just plug it right in and check out. That would be really cool. Even better would be like a Chrome plugin, right? Here's where I'm getting like, it would be awesome if, you get a Chrome plugin where you can just instant send buy a little Dash gift card right in the plugin and just put it right in your Amazon order window. But again, this is getting utopian, and I'm not trying to put no pressure, Graham, right? And he said, we are increasing our core dev team to 6 people on Monday and working on Bitcoin version 4.0, which will be fully automated. Fix that for you.
Okay. Well, there is one thing that I would like to mention while Graham's here, and please don't feel pressured, Graham, while you're here.
Here we go. The elephant in the room. The elephant on the aisles.
It did come up in the last podcast. Previously on Twitter that you mentioned that you was working on Dash to be sold on Bitcart via credit card payments. And also as well, someone asked us about the hotel gift cards. So since, you don't have to say now. In fact, I would kind of like to have an interview or something for the article. If there is more information on that on Dashforce News, you know how you can get in touch with us. But that would be great because Bitcart's hugely popular right now. And I think if you can add additional cards to that, I think you're going to, I mean, I think I saw in a recent tweet of yours that you're doing some fantastic business at the moment. Like we're talking thousands and thousands of dollars. So, I mean, this is great service. It's obviously very, very popular. But actually, in one of Amanda's videos, we mentioned Amanda earlier with the wallet competition. She was talking about pain points, right? And one of the issues that was addressed
was pain pills. I'm like, whoa, what are you talking about?
I don't know that well. I don't know about that. I don't know. But what I'm saying is that she was talking about when she was trying to introduce family to Dash, that entry barrier of where she's been unbanked for so long, and the family member was like, okay, I've got a credit card here. And then that was posed a bit of a problem. So if you can resolve that issue, I think that would be quite helpful for a lot of people. So it'd be great. And also as well, Graham will know this, but perhaps other people on the other side of the pond won't realize yesterday we had a general election vote in the UK, right?
Oh, Jesus.
One of the, I did vote, and I was actually tempted. I saw the things, and in my mind, I was really tempted to do a Dash logo, and I was going to Photoshop and put something on Twitter, but it's highly sensitive time. You get a lot of snowflakes that get offended by anything, so I thought, I better not do this. But why I mention this is, guys, if you're not seeing one of the very first videos on this channel, Tao Satoshi actually interviewed Graham. And it's quite a lengthy interview, but it talks about many subjects. And one of the things I'd love to pin Graham down on an interview is to discuss governance, because Graham's quite passionate about the EU, and he was talking about how masternodes could be used for real governance. So he's based in Cork in Ireland, right? And he was saying about a community-owned masternode, and the communities come together and to vote on proposals, and so having these communities, businesses start to adopt, and having this whole ecosystem, but people actually using the Dash DAO in some ways could be easily adapted to actually vote for things in a parliamentary sense. So it's very, very interesting, very in-depth. Some of you might find it boring, but seeing these applications...
When's the Dash Force going to get? When are we going to get our own master node, our proprietary node?
It's not a bad idea. I wouldn't be opposed to it. But could you imagine if every city had its own master node, and then everyone came through and voted on it? Because as Dash progresses, we're going to get much, much bigger proposals, so people can put their voice in and vote a particular way on certain things that they like that will benefit the community. So this is grassroots level stuff. So I would be very intrigued to hear Graham's thoughts on this, because he's very passionate about it. But let's not get too sidetracked on it now. For now, Graham, if you can sort out more gift cards, and if you can sort out the purchasing Dash via credit cards, that would be great. If you send us an update, we'll get in touch.
Yeah, I would be interested in seeing kind of what the numbers that they're doing are, if they want to disclose that, or maybe compare to Bitcoin, or how it used to be and how we're doing. And I guess we're doing really good if we're going to be the number one, the main one.
Yeah.
Right. Graham's going to find this very funny, right? Well, he might not find it funny, but there's a lot of, on Twitter, I saw a bit of backlash on my part where I wasn't gloating, but I was sharing the good news about Bitcart only accepting Dash-only payments.
Also known as gloating.
Well, I'm happy. I'm doing my service.
No, of course. I was sharing all of it's a big implication.
If I didn't trust Graham, and look, I'm not just a talking head. Although we are, although we have a news publication, right? I would never vouch for something that, I would always give my own opinion. And the service has been used by Brian and Joel, and we know Bitcart is great. And a lot of the actual microphones and stuff that we're using for this has been great. So we just tell it like it is. We will only review and give an opinion on something, just like Wallet reviews everything on the website that we use. We'll only recommend something if we know that it's good. So,
yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I like to sleep at night. Sometimes that can be hard if you're just talking stupid stuff all the time, right? So I like to have a good conscience.
Yeah, I've been critical of Bitcart when it needed to be, and they've got all their issues sorted, and they just keep getting better and better and better.
Yeah, it's just growing pains. Every company has it, but the great thing is, Graham and his partners there have listened, and they've taken that on board. They've even changed their logo, so I would like to see some Dash in that as well. I can help you out with the graphics if you're interested.
How about you submit a proposal for a bunch of money for exclusive rebranding to Dash Cart?
I would like to see. No. That's that great. Graham? Why don't you put an advert? Why don't you put some adverts out? Ask for funding for adverts or something. Get out there, or some YouTube channels, all that stuff. Get the message out there. Or just put in a pre-proposal, get community feedback. There's so many things that we can do. One
last thing on Bitcart, they didn't have a support link for the longest time, and I just saw somebody in the Slack, even as recently as a few days ago, asking about they need
ghetto, I admit.
Yeah, they need everybody sent them to Twitter, but they need some kind of a support.
I see Bitcart is now protected by Cloudflare. So definitely the sign of past DDoS attacks, Dashcart.com is already taken. How about dashcart.io? Let me check that one out.
Yeah. I told you I had some interesting news.
It can't be reached because it's not there. And I should let you know that Bitcart, I keep on unfortunately typing in Bitcart in the Twitter, and it always takes me to some other stupid e-commerce thing that has nothing to do with it. So anyway.
Right. Okay. So there has been a plethora of news out this week, but I did see one thing of interest, and this might resonate with Graham quite a bit. I saw it on a competing news website that one of us here is very cheating on with. I'm just gonna share my screen with you now, and I'm sure you're all gonna have a big opinion on this. Right. One sec. Just to show that Graham made the right decision. Ready? Kraken to charge $7 for Bitcoin withdrawals.
Dude.
So how can you use Bitcoin for commerce when the average transaction fee is $4? But now not only businesses are struggling, now even the exchanges are being brought to their knees and having to adapt to the, well, let's just say it's not going great for Bitcoin right now. So, but this is why.
Let's talk about fees for a second, right? So the according to the BitInfo charts for the 8th of June, right? So yesterday, Thursday, the average Bitcoin transaction fee was $4.38, right? And the average Ethereum fee was 84 cents, and then the average Monero fee was $1.37. The average Litecoin fee was 18 cents, and obviously this is not just the normal fee charge, it's just averaging out across the whole network. And the average Dash transaction fee goes in at 10 cents at the bottom of that. And obviously it's about the average when I send a Dash transaction is 0.0001 Dash, which is about a cent and a half or so. So this is averaged out among larger transactions and probably instant send transactions, which would be 10 times that much. But anyway, yeah, so fees are still incredibly cheap for Dash. I remember when they were 1 decimal point larger in the amount of Dash just earlier this year, and then they've since been lowered. And so that's a good indicator.
Yes, and I did see something else. Now, this isn't Dash related, but I'm sure.
I'm sorry. We'll go off on your own time. We don't want it.
Joel was talking to me earlier about he has a Ledger Nano S, so he was spreading the gospel and saying I should really step up my security game, and it reminded me of something that actually Michael from Dashforce China put in one of his videos.
That
And
good-looking guy.
It's someone sent a Bitcoin transaction, and with Bitcoin, if you don't have a Bitcoin wallet, to try and push your transaction through, you can pay a premium to bump it up. And someone accidentally mistyped and sent 80 Bitcoin as a fee. Can you see that on my screen? The poor guy. Can we just have a moment of silence for this guy?
Yes,
I feel so
rest
terrible.
in peace, my friend. Ooh.
80 Bitcoin. That is huge sums of money. And I believe the full transaction was only, I believe it was something like 90 or something. Yeah, so basically the majority of it was that. I mean, it's more than people's life saving.
Sometimes they can recover these from the mining pools, or from mining pools that
yes, one of the yes, there has been an outreach from one of the mining pools saying, "Hey, if you can get in contact, we're going to try and help him out." But so far, no one knows who this guy is. He hasn't been in touch or anything. So it just shows you, people, be careful how you type, and it's just another way of just saying, well, look, when evolution comes along, it's going to help stop these issues from happening.
Yeah,
because it's going to be much easier. So this is like it's just another great testimony of why these solutions are needed for everyone that are not just technically able, but just for mass adoption. You can't rely on this kind of archaic entry thing. You have to progress.
That reminds me of a story from actually a year ago today. Isn't this eerie? I wrote an article for Cointelegraph a year ago today about Vassal Gel, which is an experimental male contraceptive. They received a $13,000 Bitcoin donation, or they were going to, right? And they did it through, they had BitPay as a processor, and BitPay apparently had their limit capped at $10,000, and so the transaction was not allowed to take place. And so they were like, please, whoever you are who tried to give us this much to research, try again. And as far as I know, the donor never came back and tried again. They tried once, but they were rejected because of $10,000 limit. And yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. I mean, obviously that has more to do with the service itself than it had to do with the protocol thing. But the problem is, what happens is you just don't know who try. You can't get in contact with those people. And even though Dash is always going to be private, there will be a way to then do a request or communicate. Right, at the evolution, there will be a way to communicate with a seller, for example, and so you won't have these kinds of like two ships passing in the night, lost in the dark kind of moments nearly as much or at all.
Yeah,
I don't know. All these things are going to roll out in stages too, so I don't know exactly when like the savings account and when all that stuff is going to. Yeah, there's going to be a roadmap update when I think here in the next couple of weeks we're supposed to get a.
Yes, and that goes back to Alan's question way at the top at the beginning. Let's hear some speculation on the Evolution Alpha and Evolution public release schedule.
I've put in some words to try to get a.
Right, I have an update on this. As of if in the Telegram group today, Andy Freer made an announcement, and someone asked him about evolution. It's been very popular this week in Reddit and Slack. Everyone wants to have an evolution update, and he announced that yes, another 2 weeks. The project managers are preparing. Things are going really well internally with development, but I guess not. It hasn't been very well visible. It's not been very visible, well communicated as of yet. They will, and and they just asked for people to be patient. 2 weeks time, and he just put a reminder saying, please keep in mind that even Evan estimated previously that evolution release wouldn't be really until early 2018 anyway. So that's going to be very welcomed.
And we're all working. I'm sure they're all working very hard on that. In fact, Ian Marshall, who's in our live chat right now, is one of those evolution developers. Hi, Ian.
Hey. Yeah, as soon as it's ready, we'll fire up that testnet contest again, and hopefully Squawk will help run it.
Yeah, in fact, 2.5 weeks from now, I have an interview with Andy Freer himself. So we will have a nice news video on Dash Force News. You'll get to see all about it. What are we going to call it? Not
Spotlight.
Not Dash Tell Spotlight. How about Dash Force News in Focus?
Ooh, I kind of like that.
That might work. Hey, you heard it here first, right?
Okay.
That's good.
Well, do we have time for tweet of the week?
Yes, I guess we can fit that one in.
Right. Okay. So last week we actually featured Graham with Bitcart, because that's when he announced that he, obviously he'd be making a switch. So this week, out of it's not vanity. This week is me. He is I and I am him. And the head editor of Bitcoinist.com got in a bit of he got involved in one of my tweets, and he was just talking about Bitcoin, and obviously we were talking about fees and merchants, and he was actually replying to the Bitcart article that we announced. And he was saying, like, Bitcoin is challenging the central banks. So I gave him a gentle reminder that Satoshi Nakamoto's white papers was all about Bitcoin becoming a medium of exchange. It's all about commerce, right? Do you remember the banking revolution? It's not just help the unbanked. It was meant to be a disruptive technology. And in the very first sentence, the introduction to that white paper, commerce on the internet has come to rely almost exclusively on financial institutions serving as trusted third parties to process electronic payments. How can you become your own bank if you're still reliant on that third-party system? And if the fees are so high, it's not practical. So it just becomes a store of value. But if it's not a medium of exchange, if I can't go to the pub, forget the coffee. If I can't buy, if the fee is going to cost me more of a pint, or would you pay for a Uber or a taxi with Bitcoin when the fees are so high? No, it doesn't make sense.
Absolutely not.
Well, you just got to wait 2 or 3 years for Lightning to be up and running, and then
and then you're beholden to them. Bank of America is going to have their own Lightning network, guys.
Yeah, the problem with the BitPay type thing and the third-party stuff too is there's censorship from, like, I believe it's BitPay that doesn't allow the cannabis dispensaries to use them, and maybe gun stores and stuff like that. So yeah, they can just censor whatever they want. That's a big problem. One thing before we wrap up, I wanted to talk about all the competing review proposals that we have going. There's at least 5, maybe even more that I've counted. And one thing that I noticed about all of them is that they're all kind of asking for people and trying to get people together to staff these all 5 or 6 the different ones. So what I was wanting to do was create something, start a conversation about getting them all together to get everybody to kind of cooperate. Because within all the different groups, they should have enough people, and they're all very highly motivated to fill all the different positions and kind of come to the best solution for this review committee.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's something that obviously will have to be worked out over time, because decentralized governance is an important thing, and we're just figuring everything out, right? There's no roadmap for who's going to start what review organization and how. But we have to make sure that we're very careful with this, because this is the bread and butter of Dash, right? Someone gets in, if we just do something haphazardly, it's not like, all right, well, we spent a bunch of money on this merchant integration that just ended up just going down in flames. Our bad. Oh, well, we got set back a few months. We can now throw another Treasury proposal at something that works. No, if this goes awry, this could have long-term impacts into the way Dash governance works. Could possibly compromise it. Could possibly, have long-term effects. I mean, we've noticed what was happened with Bitcoin's development. Everything was all nice and hunky-dory, and then unfortunately there was a little bit of an encroachment, and now there's this bitter civil war that's tearing Bitcoin apart and sending fees to the sky. And we definitely don't want to jeopardize what the nice little thing we got going here.
Yeah, I'm going to work on something this weekend to get everybody together so they can all kind of hash out what the best strategy moving forward should be, and hopefully debate it all this next month so we can get all the parties involved and get something figured out.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Mark?
Yeah, well, you know me, I've always got something to say.
Yes. Do you have a screen share?
Well, I believe that this poses a more important question because, as Joel rightly said, it goes to the root core of what Dash is. This is about the governance and the treasury. So it's essential we find the right players to do this. Now, I've only really had time to look in 2 of these review kind of committee proposal type things at the moment. And one thing that I've found is that a bigger question is, should proposal owners be anonymous? Because some proposals are much smaller, but if you're having something that's so fundamental to the governance structure and treasury, where actually master owners are going to be using your service as well, I have a hard time with this, because how can you be held accountable if you're a faceless person? Especially in such a critical role.
Yeah, if it's somebody brand new to the community, that would they're going to have to give some more information. If it's somebody that's been in the community for years and everybody knows them, they've built up trust, that's a different issue.
Yeah, or more importantly, can you really tell the difference? Like, what if it's just, it's this new site, who knows who runs it? And then it's like, well, is it this long-time trusted community member who no one's ever known his name, but everyone knows it's a solid person? Or is it just someone out? Is it some competitor from another coin? No one knows. And if you'd allow me, I'd like to end with reading a couple things. I wrote down my thoughts a little bit to collect them a little bit better, and I'll read like a couple paragraphs on this thing. So here's where you get to judge my live reading skills as being terrible. But anyway, trustless systems function without it mattering who's who. Trusted systems, however, rely very much on reputation, which is tied to identity. If you're trusting someone to hold your funds for you, for example, or trusting their word, you have to know the individual or organization is worthy of trust. In order for that to happen, they have to build reputation in the community by being around a while and building a track record of good results. In order to be able to build this reputation, they need some form of identity. Now, identity doesn't have to be real-world names, pictures, government-issued IDs, etc. Plenty of Dash's developers and others working in its ecosystem are pseudonymous. However, they still do have a form of identity to which their above-mentioned reputation is attached. For example, both myself, and Dash developer Mukamu are on Keybase, which we can use to identify both encrypted messages and our social media accounts. And now one of us, myself, I have a full name displayed, and the other is a cow pic with a cow name. But we both have rock-solid identities attached to our reputation. No one can impersonate us, or no one can impersonate us without being easily set straight. And so, all that to say, whenever we're trusting people's opinions, and this review kind of process is something that's very important, that you trust people's take on things, Trust people to do their due diligence and research, trust everything else. When you're trusting people, you got to know who you're trusting. And it doesn't mean, it can be Dr. Claw behind the curtain or whatever, but it could, if it's the same Dr. Claw you've been interacting with for 6 months to a year, it's like, even though you don't know their face, you can still know that that's a trustworthy person.
Right. I don't know why the screen went to me then. I didn't say anything. I do actually. I don't know how many people have got viewing right now, but I found something that happened in the news a week ago, and guys, I need your help on this because it's going to really help. It's going to really help Dash out. I've tweeted these people, and I'd love for you guys to add the pressure on as well. Graham, you're fairly local to this as well, so please get involved, and you've got a lot more punching power than perhaps I may have. Right, so guys, if you've been sleeping under a rock for the past 2 weeks, I don't even know if Brian knows about this yet. Not that I'm not saying he sleeps under rocks or anything. Please forgive me on that. But I saw this. We plan to open 5,000 Bitcoin ATMs in Europe. That's why, Graham, you should be listening to this, in 2017. Now, this is done by a company, a Russian company, that has a headquarters in London. Right? They actually have Dash on the website, but it doesn't seem to be listed. So guys, Bitlish, get on there and tweet them and ask them to add it. 5,000 ATMs.
Tell them to Bitlish Dash.
Yeah, and put Dash on the map, because 5,000 ATMs, and this is part of it's a bit selfish, because that means on our Discover Dash website, we can add all those ATMs to the map as well. And just think how it's going to grow to our ecosystem as well. All that accessibility is going to be excellent. And they don't just do Bitcoin. They obviously offer a few other select crypto coins at the moment. So this is a possibility. We can make this happen. It is listed on the website, but it doesn't look like it's been integrated yet. So we need to put on the pressure. They currently have 200 ATMs in Europe at the moment. But in 6 months, they're claiming there's going to be 5,000 throughout all of Europe. Now, there's a popular Bitcoin map. I think it's called Coin Radar ATM or something. When it lists all
ATM Radar,
and it lists all of them. And now practically all the ATMs are just lopsided in America. I think there's something like 836. And currently on there, like, none of them are accepting Dash, the ones that are listed on there at the moment.
I know a few operators here in New Hampshire. New Hampshire has 1, 2, 3, 4. New Hampshire has 5, right? And for a place of like 1.2 million people, that's very significant, right? And I know a few of these operators, and I know several of them are General Bytes machines, and so that should be very easy to get them to just activate Dash. So any bit of luck.
Yes.
Really soon.
Yeah, let's if people screen share that, they contact that company, screen share what they put out, post it on the Dash Nation Slack and the Dash Force channel. We'll send you some tips.
Or you can go to my Twitter. I've actually tweeted them a couple days ago, but I haven't had a response yet. That's why I need people power on this. People power. Yeah. I'm going to put it in the Slack. We can try and get a big approach. Or go to my Twitter and just retweet and like my thing or whatever. Mark David Mason on Twitter. And yes, please do that, because it'll be such a huge, monumental thing to actually achieve that. Because quite often, unfortunately, in cryptocurrency, a lot of the great things that happen and teams are American-based, and for something great to happen in Europe, that'll bring us up to parity in terms of ATMs and accessibility. Well, we've had Brexit, but I'm going to speak as a European. To have that would be really important. And to back up what Joel said about General Bytes, a lot of those ATMs listed in America on the Coin Radar website, probably some of them are accepting Dash already. There's like a firmware update that allows them to actually do that. And obviously the owners would be silly not to do that, because it's more money for them, right? Because they make money per purchase. So I'm sure many of them actually, that needs updating. But for Europe, this would be a huge thing. So even if you're not in Europe and you're in the Dash community, please support me on this. Bitlish, Bitlish, and that would be grand. I really, really appreciate that.
Nice.
Yeah, I had an idea to give away some free Dash also, separate to that the ATM deal. So yeah, tune in to the Three Amigos podcast next week if you want some free Dash.
Excellent. Right, Joel, you happy?
Yes, I've never been happier. Podcast went very well, and this week has been crazy. And we're gearing up for a bunch of new surprises the rest of this month, and definitely stay tuned for that. Obviously, we've announced a few of them. A few of them we've not announced, but remember, we launched both Dash Force News and Discover Dash without having asked for money for them from the masternodes yet. So we definitely underpromise and overdeliver here. So expect us to keep doing what we do best.
Excellent. And on that note, people, thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Cheerio. Stay dashy. Bye.
Peace.